This week, you are continuing to work on your research papers. You have the body paragraphs due by Friday. And I know that writing a research paper can feel like a pretty intimidating task. So I was looking for additional resources to help you, in addition to the textbook and the other things I've shared. And I came across an article that I really like. It's entitled, How to Write a Killer Research Paper Even If You Hate Writing. And the author is Elizabeth Lundin. So here's her information. I'm just going to highlight a few points from the article, and then I will share the entire thing in the introduction to Module 14 if you'd like to read the whole thing. So she writes the following: research papers. Unless you're a weirdo like me, you probably dread them. When I was in college, depending on the class, I even dreaded these. It's the sort of project that can leave even the most organized student quaking in their boots, staring at the assignment like they're Luke Skywalker and it's the Death Star. You have to pick a broad topic, do some in-depth research, hone in on a research question, and then present your answer to that question in an interesting way. Oh, and you have to use citations too. So she said, how on earth are you supposed to tackle this thing? And then she proceeds to give some advice. Number 1, pick a topic. And pick one that interests you, that is not up for debate. You and this topic are going to be spending a lot of time together. So you might as well pick something you like, or at the very least, that you have a vague interest in. And I've given you 2 choices, as you know, for your research topic, either a future career or an interesting question that you want to explore further, something you've always wondered about. So I hope you found a topic that interests you and that you're going to enjoy doing more research on this week. Number 2, she says, create a clear thesis statement. She says, say it with me. A research paper without a thesis, question, or statement is just a fancy book report. Lundin goes on to explain, every good thesis statement has 3 important qualities. It's focused, it picks a side, and it can be backed up with research. If you're missing any of those qualities, you're going to have a bad time. Avoid vague modifier words like positive and negative. Instead, use precise, strong language to formulate your argument. Number 3, hit the books. It's a good idea to start by heading to the library and asking your local librarian for help. They're usually so excited to help you find things. And that's definitely true of the librarians at OTC. You can use the Ask a Librarian feature on the OTC Library website, or you can go in person. I promise you, our librarians are willing and able to help you. You can also find research information through the databases OTC Library has to offer by doing your own searches. There's lots of places to find research, and you can even do personal interviews, which I mentioned to you last week in my introductory video. Make sure, Lundin says, that after starting your research, you create some kind of system for filing helpful quotes, links, and other sources. She says she likes to do it in a text document on her computer. Next, number 4, Lundin says write an outline. And you know I'm a big believer in outlines as well. Even if you normally feel confident writing a paper without one, use an outline when you're working on a research paper. Outlines basically do all the heavy lifting for you when it comes to writing. They keep you organized and on track. Even if you feel tempted to jump in and just brain dump, resist. She says, you'll thank me later. And I agree. It's a lot of information that you're putting into your research paper. So having a strong outline with your different subtopics listed and all of the supporting information you're going to put into each paragraph really will save you time and stress later on. And then she has information about how to write that outline embedded in this article. So I encourage you to open it and read the whole thing. Lundin's 5th point is write the first draft. Time to type this thing up, she says. If you created a strong enough outline, this should be a breeze. Most of it should already be written for you. All you have to do is, at this point, is to fill it in. You've successfully avoided the initial blank screen panic. She says, don't worry too much about grammar or prose quality at this time. It's the rough draft, and it's not supposed to see the light of day. You're going to be revising it more, she says. So I find it helpful, she says, to highlight direct quotes, summaries, paraphrases, and claims as I put them in. This helps me ensure I never forget to cite any of them. So do what you got to do. Go to a studious place or create one, put on an awesome playlist, close your social media apps, and get the work done. Number 6, revise your first draft. Every paper has 2 editing stages, the developmental edit and the line edit. The developmental edit, the first one at least, is for your eyes only. This is the part where you take a long, hard look at your paper and ask yourself, does it make sense? Does it accomplish what I want it to accomplish? If it does, that's great. If it doesn't, then how can you rearrange it or change it so it does? She asks you to consider organization, your thesis, that your sources are properly cited, and to avoid repetition in your paper. Once you've run through this process at least once, it's time for your line edit. This is the part where you check for punctuation, spelling, and grammatical areas. Grammar errors. Lundin encourages you to let the paper sit overnight and then read it out loud to yourself or the cat, or have a friend read it. Often our brains know what we meant to say, and it's difficult for us to catch small grammatical or spelling errors. So reading aloud really helps. She also encourages you to use things like spell checker and Grammarly. Finally, number 7, organize your sources. The paper's written, but it's not over. You've still got to create the very last page, the works cited page. The most important thing to ensure here is that every single source, whether big or small, is on this page before you turn your paper in. If you forget to cite something or you don't cite it properly, you run the risk of plagiarism. Lundin suggests using EasyBib and Microsoft Word to help you format your works cited pages. So that's a little information for you coming from someone else besides me. I hope your research paper is going smoothly so far. I look forward to reading your body paragraphs on Friday. And as always, let me know if I can help. Thanks.